Well, welcome back to Flix Frog's Top 10. And this list here today is my top 10 most disappointing films of 2022. I decided I didn't want to make a list of my top 10 worst films of 2022 because that's just too mean. You know, everybody does a really good job to try and make a good movie, and just sometimes just doesn't turn out that way. So I'm going with disappointing. These are films that I don't inherently think are like bad. It's just that I went into them with certain expectations and those expectations were not met. And I'll go a little bit over like some of the things that I didn't care for or didn't like about the films, and that'll basically be it. In these films, this list is not in any particular order. I'm just going to name off 10. So, just a heads up on that. Starting with number 10. Everything Everywhere All at Once. I am a big fan of the multiverse. A big fan of the multiverse. And when I saw the trailer for this, I was like, I have to see this. I have to see what it does. And going to see it, it has some great ideas, great acting, a fun story, but it's a little too scatterbrained throughout. Now, my thoughts on this were a little weird. I was like, it was too long to be a good movie, but if it were longer, it could have been a great, like, limited series. And I think it either should have been shorter and would have been a nice, tight movie, or a little longer, it should have been a limited series. Like I said, I like the story elements that it proposed. There are some plot holes that do start to come up the longer it gets, but it is wild and wacky. It just didn't do for me what I wanted to do. A lot of people love it. A lot of people love, what's his name, Kehu Kwan. They really want him to get an Academy Award for this film. He does a great job. But for me, it's just like meh. Number 9, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Sticking with the multiverse, this was my most anticipated film of the year. This was my most anticipated film of the year. Knowing that we were going into the multiverse saga, knowing that Spider-Man No Way Home was bringing back Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, I was like, this is the one. This is the one that's going to break the internet. This is Marvel's next $2 billion movie, because we're going through all these universes and we're going to get to see all these characters we haven't seen in a while. Even if it's only a cameo. We got one other main universe, and it wasn't that great. And it was a little disheartening because I really did enjoy WandaVision. I liked her journey in that, and I thought we could tell she's going to go to the dark side in this film. But I thought this film was going to be her journey further into the dark side, because she got the Darkhold at the end of WandaVision, and in this film, like, she's going to go on this adventure with Doctor Strange and slowly start to lose her mind. When this film starts, she's already pretty much on the bad side. She's evil. We get no in between of like how she turned evil, and we're supposed to just accept, well, she had the Darkhold, and the Darkhold was affecting her mind. It's like, no. Enough that she could just go and kill all these other people in this other universe, and then we're supposed to expect her to be back on the lunchbox come Secret Wars or whatever. And I can't buy that. I can't buy that. Now, there is a fix to this. If Mordo in the other universe still has a time stone and he uses it to bring all those people back to life, then it's like she didn't kill anybody, and then she can be back on the lunchbox. But other than that, they've pretty much solidified her as the villain, and I think that's just going to be a little hard for me to, get back on her side. And it's just, it was a mid movie. I love Sam Raimi. I can't wait to see what he directs next, but Marvel was not a good fit for him. Number 8, Day Shift. Day Shift is another movie. When I saw the trailer, I was like, I got to see this. This looks great. It's Jamie Foxx as this pool cleaner who actually fights vampires. And the story looked fun. It looked great. And if you watch the movie, it does start out good because it gives you what it promises. Jamie Foxx fighting vampires and trying to make money off of it. But there's this whole world in the film that we really learn little about. Like, why are vampire fangs worth so much money? Who is this boss that this one vampire lady's trying to take down? How did they invent the suntan lotion and stuff like, not suntan, sunblock or whatever? A lot of questions go unanswered. It's like they were teasing a sequel, but the ending to this movie is so bad, I don't want to see a sequel. They turn the sidekick into a vampire, and that doesn't make sense. Not all vampires are bad for some reason by the end, but we don't really get any explanation of that. I just was really let down by this movie. Number 7, Jurassic World, whatever the subtitle was. Dominion? Jurassic World Dominion? Awful, awful movie. They brought back the original cast for what? For what? It's the same story. It's dinosaurs taking over an area. And I will give it one thing. The scariest thing in this movie is not the dinosaurs. It is the giant locusts. I do not like bugs. I hate bugs. And seeing giant bugs would really freak me out. And they didn't take that to like the extent that I wanted them to take it to. And with the terrible Lost Kingdom movie and the ending of that, they're like, dinosaurs are out in the world. We need to contain them. Somehow in this film, they're all over the world. They have bred and they're just a part of normal life. That doesn't really make sense to me that the government wouldn't take all these things down. But yes, then there was also like these breeding farms that people had. And it's like, how did this happen? How do you take down a dinosaur with a horse and a rope? It's stupid. Just shoot these things. Shoot these things. You can clone more. None of these dinosaurs should be being saved. It makes zero sense. Now, would I want to see a sequel? Yes, I'm that type of guy. I would want to see a sequel at this point. Why not? I think they drastically need to change up the story. And I don't want to see some type of post-apocalyptic type of Planet of the Apes dinosaur world. That's not important to me. But I do want to see prehistoric mammals. Like, if it's a team of Navy SEALs being tracked by saber-toothed tigers and dire wolves, that would make a great Jurassic World movie to me. Number 6, Blonde, starring Ana de Armas. This movie was just a gratuitous near porno about Marilyn Monroe's life. It is not that great of a biopic. Ana de Armas did a great job acting in it. But the director, I think his name is Andrew Dominic. I'm not exactly sure, but it's like he really has some type of fetish. And you know what? It's not really his fault. He's the director of the film. The lady who wrote the book is kind of weird. It's like, you just really wanted to see Marilyn Monroe just get raped by everybody in Hollywood, and that's basically it. And the director was like, ooh, I'm going to hire a Cuban actress to play her. Now, Ana de Armas is pretty fair-skinned. A lot of Cubans are. They can easily pass as white. I had no problem with her playing Marilyn Monroe because she can pass as a white Hollywood lady. Her accent needed work. She was slipping in and out of her Cuban accent throughout the film. And, I'm just saying, this film is not for everyone. And it's not a film I could ever recommend anybody to watch. There is this one scene where JFK is, forcing her to give him a blowjob. And it is, the worst thing to see. It's like, this is so sad. And then there's, normally when they have films that are sad about people's lives, they toss in light moments. There's some levity in there to make it seem like it wasn't all bad. Yes, it may have a sad ending. This movie is sad throughout. It is sad and dark and just, it is heavy. And yeah, not everybody likes a heavy movie. Number 5, Strange World. Strange World is one of those just meh movies. Came and went. I saw it, and it's just meh. You can kind of pretty much guess what's going on from the trailers, and yeah, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't interesting. It is not the heyday of Disney animation. If you want animation from Disney, you're pretty much going to Pixar. Pixar tells the great stories. Disney animation is just there to look like Pixar and make money. And of course, this film has controversy. Oh, there's this gay teenage boy, and he's a main character, and he talks about loving another boy or having a crush on another boy. And tell you the truth, it's really total less than a minute of the film. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. I mean, it's what they're doing now. And young kids, it'll probably go straight over their heads. Your older kids, they will definitely understand what's going on here, so you can talk to them if you choose to. But yeah, I mean, it is sad for that the queer guy who's playing the son, Ethan, Jabuki Young White, I think is his name. That for them to be like, we're putting this gay guy in our film, he's going to be a main character. They didn't even give him a good film. They gave him a mediocre film, and then kind of slid it under the rug. At least give him this great project so then people can be upset about it. Like, man, that's a really great film. But But it's kind of like, it's mediocre. Number 4. A lot of people in my critics organization are going to be upset about this. Tar. Tar is on this list because, and the only reason it's on this list because they said it was so good. They said this movie was really good. It's Kate Blanchett's best role ever. The score is great. All these things are great. And I was like, this better be good when I watch it. And I watch it, and it's an okay movie. It's not bad. It's not great. You watch it, it's there. I have no desire to really watch it again. Like, I don't get it. The story was fine. I laughed maybe once when she fought that guy at the end, but otherwise, it is like one of those Oscar movies that they tell you does all these things right, but it's really not that interesting. So that's what I thought about Tar. Number 3, Amsterdam. I was actually really hyped for this movie when I saw the trailer. You got Chris Rock, David Washington, Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, all these stars. Even that one singer who everybody likes is in it. I can't remember her name right now. But yeah, she dies early on. But the film, it was very informational. I like that it actually told a partially true story. And I learned a lot about, like, America in the 30s or the 40s when they were trying to, like, pretty much install a dictator. But I think the film was too long. They could have explained all that in a shorter time frame and made a better movie. It was just a little dull. It probably should have went straight to streaming like people said. So those are my thoughts on that. Number 2, Don't Worry, Darling. Don't Worry, Darling is a fine movie. It was embroiled in like the drama around the movie was funnier or better. The drama around the movie was better than the movie itself. Because you got Florence Pugh apparently hates Olivia Wilde. The fact that Olivia Wilde left her husband, Jason Sudeikis, and started dating Harry Styles, who she then cast in the movie. You got Shia LaBeouf, who Olivia Wilde claimed she fired from the movie because of his personality. And he said, no, I got receipts. You begged me to stay in the movie. I said we didn't have enough time to rehearse. And he released that information to some outlet who then released it to the public. Hilarious. Then you got Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine at the Venice Film Festival. And they've released a statement saying he didn't spit on him. It's a trick of the eye or whatever. Like, look at that video. Look at that video. I don't know if it's an accident or what, but he spit on that man. And why he spit on that man, we'll probably never know. And it's just wild. It is wild that all that stuff happened. But the film, it was fine. It was a fine film. It was like an extended episode of Black Mirror, although the ending is a little weird. It's like, how is she going to free herself now that she's out of the system? He really his wife was a doctor, and he chose to have her locked up and work a meaningless job to try and pay for that system. How did they invent that system? How is she getting sustenance? Was he changing her diet? So many questions I had at the end of that film. And it was one of my most anticipated years. Sadly, I don't think like Olivia Wilde should be like knocked down after this. I still want to see her direct Spider-Woman, which I am more interested in now after hearing the rumored plot of Madam Web. Madam Web I thought was going to be a stupid movie, but hearing this like Terminator but with Spider-Man characters, that Sony might be onto something there. And number 1, Lightyear. Lightyear is a film that I really like. The Buzz Lightyear Star Command cartoon that used to come on ABC as a kid. It was really interesting. It really fleshed out the character, added a bunch of supporting characters around him that were really just interesting and fun. And I thought this film would be a live action adaptation of that. It is not. It is more like a animated adaptation of Interstellar. Now, Interstellar worked for the movie that it was, but I don't want to see those kind of sad characters as cartoons. Another thing with this, there's apparently a gay character. Well, not apparently, there is a gay character, but she's in it even less than Strange World. It's like barely her being gay, but people were really upset about that. But the real issue with this movie is just it was a little dull. It was a little dull. The time travel was not a good plot point. It should have been a fun action adventure of Buzz Lightyear in space. Like, there's no way I can watch this film and be like, young Andy saw this and wanted the Buzz Lightyear toy. That doesn't sound believable to me. If anything, he would have wanted the Socks toy. The Socks toy, which is nowhere to be seen in all of Toy Story. And then they're like, well, Socks was sold out. That's fine. Socks was sold out. He's very popular. I didn't see any signs for him. Really. And this is a really weird way to, put the Toy Story franchise. Do I want to see a Woody Pixar movie? Yes, I do. I do want to see Woody's Roundup. I think that would be a great way to go. You do Woody's Roundup, hopefully make it better, and make it like those great old westerns. Get Tom Hanks to voice Woody. I love Chris Evans, but don't go changing out for these younger people. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why they got Chris Evans over Tim Allen. Like, they should have just stuck with Tim Allen. Or, what's his name? Daniel Warburton? Whoever sounds like Buzz. But yeah, that is my top 10 most disappointing films of the year. Like I said, I don't really think any of these films are bad. They just disappointed me. So yeah, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit to read the reviews on some of these films. I don't even know if I reviewed all of them. You can go to the website, fliprogllc.com/flixfrog. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Facebook page, the website, Twitter, every social media, anything you think of. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.